When all of you meet on the track, you are and should be fierce competitors with each other. And we would hope that every one of you does everything you can to strive to be the fastest down the track and the first across the line. But once you are off the track, all of you are no longer competitors with each other, but teammates of each other, in an effort that all of us are engaged in, which is so important and so much larger than any one individual accomplishment. You are athletes on the track, and you are ambassadors off the track. I hope that you will continue to compete fiercely, and I hope that you will continue to cooperate just as fiercely with each other as we all work towards this common goal of inclusion in these sports in the Paralympic program.
There's Mark.
I was a paratrooper with the 3rd Battalion in the Australian Army. I had a couple of parachute accidents which injured my legs and my back, and although I still walked after many surgeries and everything after that for years, my injuries just continually got worse until finally in 2008 I had to have a couple of serious spinal surgeries, and from there I ended up as an incomplete paraplegic.
In Afghanistan, we were on a patrol, and walked on the wrong bit of ground and caused a few roadside bombs, and lost the old leg and most of the hand, and sort of smashed up a fair few bones in the other arm as well. When you sort of first lose a leg and you're a little bit sort of down in the dumps and you don't quite know what you can do or what you can't do, and your life becomes a little less energetic than it was before, but you've got these opportunities to sort of carry on, and it gets you back on your feet, and it makes you realise that there's a lot more that you can do, regardless of how many bits and bobs you've lost.
Us guys in chairs, we've had a lot of issues, medical issues and everything that have knocked us down time and time again, and you just got to keep getting up. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just to keep getting up.
I went through a few hard years with drug use. The police caught up to me. Ended up being a 3-hour standoff that day. When they found me, they thought that I had a weapon, and they shot me 21 times. So I spent 3 months in a coma, 3 months in recovery, another 3 months in rehabilitation, and I still had my leg, but there was just so much damage that they ended up having to amputate it. It's just overcoming those obstacles. When you lose a limb, you have to work harder to do the same thing that able-bodied people take for granted, and so it's just pushing past those barriers and really taking accountability and saying, you know what, just because I'm missing a limb doesn't mean that I have to slow down. I can still live my life to the fullest and do what you can do too.
There's more disabled people who are actually able-bodied than what I am, because people get that mentality of they can't do things, and we just want to show the world that nothing's impossible and you can achieve all your dreams.
I've been in a wheelchair now for 10 years, and it happened July 19th on 2004. I was doing base jumping, and it was my 1100th base jump, and I wanted to do something special so I could remember that jump. And I was doing some flips, quadruple gainer from 486-foot high bridge, and I made a mistake and opened the parachute a split second too soon, so I hadn't finished the last rotation and my legs didn't quite finish, and the parachute came out and tangled around my foot, so I never had a chance to fully open, and I impacted the river doing somewhere around 70 or 80 miles per hour, 130 kilometers upside down on my neck, and I hit the water and then hit the bottom of the river and suffered a spinal cord injury. So.
My disability came about when I was in a motorcycle accident when I was 18 years old. A truck pulled out in front of me making a right turn on red. I got sucked under the car and it literally ripped my leg in half right at the accident scene. And if it wasn't for an off-duty officer at the time that was able to immediately wrap a belt around my leg, I wouldn't be here. There's multiple opportunities for people to come out, check out the sport, see if it's a fit for them, see if they can handle the G-forces, see if they can handle the pressure, the adrenaline, and the speeds that we undertake on every racetrack we go down.
It is a crazy sport, but it's there's nothing really that can be missing from your body that can prevent you from doing it.
You need to be mentally tough and be able to prepare properly, control the emotions, control the anxiety, and focus. And if you can do that, then the physical part of it you can train very easily. Everybody can train to get stronger, to get better. But the hardest part is mental toughness and being able to focus at the perfect time and mentally peak. So we all have some ups and downs, but we need to be able to wash out all the bad and focus only on the good, especially on race day.
We can push as fast as some able-bodied athletes. We can slide the tracks just as good, if not better, than some able-bodied athletes. And there's no reason we should be treated any different. And we're out there to prove to the world and the entire sport that we can slide just like the best in the world.
A lot of times with sports, it's so competitive that that there's no camaraderie between your teammates. But because the sport is so new, it's really great to get to know the other athletes. I think the next couple of years, you know, it's going to quadruple in numbers. Like, we're going to have more and more athletes seeing what we're doing and want to come and experience what we're doing and get involved.
Get some! I'm going to get some!
Start Steven, start flat, back is clear.
I love Australia! But I love you!
We become really close friends, and there's times where after the training or before the training that as a group of athletes we'll sit down and discuss the track, and one guy will say, hey, this corner and the horseshoe, I found that if I do this it works really well, or you know, oh, I've had trouble in this corner, what do you do? And we share those experiences. We share what works and what doesn't work. And sometimes as a collective, we'll each say, okay, listen, you work on corner 6 and I'll work on corner 8, and we'll figure out what's the best line, and then we share that so that, you know, we both or all of us can learn from it, because, you know, we want the sport to be competitive, and we really are friends. So it's not about me trying to beat those guys. And the same with them. I think that as a collective, as friendships, we just want to see the sport get better. So if we all help ourselves or all help each other, then the whole sport gets better, not just one pilot, but all of the pilots get better. And then the sport becomes more and more competitive, which is perfect, because the more competitive it is, then the more that people want to watch it and see it. And of course, the better chance we have to make it into the Paralympics.
Number 1. Let's do it.
Being an ex-paratrooper and adrenaline junkie, I thought I knew adrenaline pretty well, but going down the ice between 115 and 130 kilometers an hour, it's the most intense thing you could possibly do, I think, unless you want to go base jumping.
I've had a lot of people ask me what it feels like inside that sled. For me personally, is absolutely, it's like heaven. I love the speeds. I love the fact that not only do we have really, really high speeds, but the actual steering involved to go through the track is so minute and it's so delicate. So you have these two opposites with high intensity and high speeds and adrenaline rush, but at the same time you need to keep your hands very quiet and very soft to make it through the track clean. If you start turning too hard and too fast, then you're starting to bang off the walls and crash and all that stuff. So it's both of those things together, where you have this high intensity and speed, and then this mental calmness that you need to focus and drive very soft and quiet.
Go, Matt. Go! Go!
You know, I remember the first time I ever tried it. I thought, this is a bit of a crazy sport. I didn't really know how to control the sled. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know the course. But the more you do it, the more it becomes natural. And there's a lovely moment where you go down a run and you do it perfectly. And at that point, there's no greater feeling.
It's almost a euphoric experience. It's settling, it's adrenaline filling, it's exciting and calming all at the same time.
There's nothing in the world that I've ever done that's like being on a skeleton sled. It's almost like flying. That's the closest thing that I can compare it to is flying, because you're moving so fast and there's nothing but just you and the sled and the air flying by your head. It's an amazing experience. It's awesome.
My goal is to make it all the way through the Paralympic Games and show the world that I can be one of the best sliders out there and represent my country and do it accordingly.
This is my third season that I've started to slide, and I'm not sure how long I can continue with the sport. I would really love to continue for many years, but the reality is I'm not a young man anymore, so I would like to at least stay in the sport long enough to see it grow and build so that it can get bigger and bigger. I'll stick around until the young guys knock me off.
You know, my life has changed for the better in every way. You know, if I would have known life could have been this good, and they said, give me your leg and your life can be this good, I would have let them have it a long time ago. But I think losing a limb and having a disability and coming that close to death, it makes you appreciate what life really has to offer. You know, it opens your eyes to how beautiful life is around you and to the things that you took for granted before.
There's too many people in this world that will tell you can't do. You just got to have a can-do attitude and a never ever give up attitude. My favourite saying is, you know, when you wake up of a morning, you look up, you get up, and you never give up.